Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace.
This is a Bengali song written by Jyotirendra Thakur. The meaning is like this. You are my only refuge. You are the only one who takes me across danger, fear and darkness. You end the sadness and light my heart with spring-like season. You are my lifelong friend. My mind earnestly call upon you. You are my only refuge. Tumi ভরসা মম, তুমি হে ভরসা মম, অকুল পাথারে। তুমি হে ভরসা মম, অকুল পাথারে। আরো কেহ নাহি যে বিপদ ভয় বাড়ে, আধারে যে তারে। তুমি হে ভরসা মম, অকুল পাথারে। তুমি হে ভরসা মম, এক তুমি অভয় পদ জগত সংসারে। এক তুমি অভয় পদ জগত সংসারে। কেমনে বল দীন জন, কেমনে বল দীন জন ছাড়ে তোমারে। তুমি হে ভরসা মম, অকুল পাথারে। তুমি হে ভরসা মম, হরি দুঃখ অন্ত শুভ সন্ত হৃদে জাগে। করি দুঃখ অন্ত শুভ সন্ত হৃদে জাগে। যখন তুমি হে ভরসা মম জীবন সখা তুমি বাঁচিনা তোমাবে না জীবন সখা তুমি বাঁচিনা তোমাবে না তৃষিত মন প্রাণ মম তৃষিত মন প্রাণ মম ডাকে তোমারে তুমি হে ভরসা মম অকুল আধারে হারুকে হোনাহি যে বিপদ ভয় ভারে আধারে যেতা তুমি হে ভরসা মম।
I'm reading from the book Sri Sharada Devi and Her Divine Play, written by Swami Kripamayananda. Here, Swami Mahadevananda recalled, it was July and raining continuously. I carried some vegetables from Kualpara ashram to Jairambati. When the mother saw me, she said, "You have come, very good. No one has come here for some days. There is a shortage of groceries. You stay here today and do some shopping for us." In the afternoon, I went to the Haldipukur market to buy kerosene, flour, sugar, ghee, rock candy and some other things. The weight of all the items was about a mound, that is 82 pounds. The shopkeeper told me, "It will be difficult for you to carry such a heavy load. Let me call a porter for you." I was thinking that the mother did not ask me to engage a porter. So I said, "I don't need a porter. I shall be able to carry it. Please lift the basket onto my head." After carrying that basket for a while, I felt the weight of it and started having headache. It was raining. I held the umbrella over the basket with one hand and the basket with the other. The road was extremely slippery and I was walking carefully. I was determined to walk the entire path. Along the way, there was a slope for crossing the bullock cart, and when I crossed it, I felt the entire load became too light. I could not figure out what had happened, and I stopped for a minute. Then, without any difficulty, I reached the mother's house. When I entered the house, I saw the mother pacing back and forth on her veranda. Her face was red and eyes were bulging, and she was sweating profusely. She was asking herself, why did I not ask him to hire a porter? When I put down the basket, she said, "Why didn't you hire a porter? You should not carry such a heavy load. Swami Mahadevananda realized that during his journey, Holy Mother had relieved him by carrying the weight herself. Here I say.
Now a short period of meditation. Good morning, friends. I wish you all a happy Vijayadashami. We had a big celebration yesterday, and that is the day for prayer to everyone, friends, relatives, and to everyone. And after Durga Puja finishes Vijayadashami on the 10th day of the bride fortnight on Shukla Paksha. On the 15th day, Divine Mother is worshipped in another form on the Purnima, the full moon day. And that is the Kojagari Lakshmi Puja. Divine Mother worshipped as Durga. After 5 days again, Divine Mother is worshipped as Lakshmi. And one is Lakshmi Puja that is commonly worshipped during when in Bengal it's Kali Puja, that is on Amavasya, that's on a new moon day, new moon night. And the Lakshmi Puja is the evening on full moon night, just after the Durga Puja, after the Vijayadashami. So that's why we thought of this talking about the wealth. Lakshmi is often associated with wealth. See, the giver of wealth, you might have seen calendars. She is giving golden coins to the people from one hand, it's just flowing like that. So what Lakshmi really stands for, and why do we pray Lakshmi for what kind of wealth? What is the real wealth? What is the true wealth that always remains? We know that the wealth that we need to sustain our life, the physical life, is we need money, we need little property, we need little possession. But how much we need, it depends on our power of discrimination, our power of finding out and deciding how much is enough. Now, no more needed, it's enough. Are we able to say that? That power is called Viveka. That Viveka itself is a grand wealth. Our mind itself is a wealth. It will decide, the intellect will decide how much we need, and after that, no, I don't need that. That is the self-control. That self-control is very important in our life to really become happy. Otherwise we think that it is the money that gives happiness, it is the possession that gives happiness, it is the things of the worldly thing that give happiness. So if we seek real peace and joy in life, how much wealth is enough? And what is the real wealth that we should strive for? That is the question, basic question. What can give us really the joy in life? Mother Lakshmi is supposed to sustain us. The power of Vishnu, whose responsibility in that holy trio, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, is to protect and sustain the universe, the creation. And this sustenance comes from providing, and the power is called Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is not only in the wealth, also Lakshmi is worshipped in the food grains. Like paddy grains is supposed to be the symbol of Lakshmi. Lakshmi tvam dhanyan upasi. Oh Lakshmi, you have become like the paddy grains. Paddy grain are you. You might have seen that movie, Life of Pi. In that one dialogue is there, when he was in the sea, the pi was in the ocean, nothing, no food was there. Suddenly one fish comes to him. And he said, "Oh Vishnu, you have come in the form of fish." Food itself is God, because it sustains us. So and that power which sustains is called Vishnu. It is called Vishnu, or its Vishnu power is Lakshmi. So that becomes wealth at the time of when we are hungry. Food is the wealth. Wealth is that which makes us happy, which we need in time. In Hindu philosophy, 4 aims of life have been set. Purushartha Chatushtaya, 4 aims, 4 goals, 4 things to achieve in life. And it is not something divorced from what we seek. One of the aims is dharma. Artha, second, Kama, third, and Moksha, fourth. These 4 things are the aims or goals in life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So dharma is often considered, some say dharma is like the religion. No, it's nothing with the religion. It is more a power to be imbued with the qualities to achieve success in life. That's called dharma. I want to strive to attain something. I want to pass the exam. I want to be successful in life. So I want to be a good engineer. What qualities I need to have with me by which I can be successful is called dharma. Dharma is also performance of our allotted duty with full concentration. That is kartavya. That is also dharma, performing our duty. Dharma also, in wider sense, of course, when the goal is to attain spiritual perfection, then whatever we do for spiritual growth is dharma. So dharma is basically a very broad concept which makes what the human beings should have to be real human beings, that is dharma. When we help someone at the time of someone needing something, someone needs something, we help, that becomes dharma to help others. You know the story of one holy man was in the river, and he suddenly saw a scorpion was flowing in the river. It was not able to come to the shore. The river was in the flow. And the holy man went in the river and he wanted to save it by putting that scorpion with bites on the bank so that its life is safe, otherwise it will drown in the river. So he tried to save it with the bare hand. So as soon as he lifted it from water, the scorpion stung it. So it was very painful. Scorpion sting is very painful. So with that he couldn't hold, and his hand just gave up and the scorpion fell again on the river. He could not throw it. He could not put that scorpion on the bank. Second time he tried, and second time also scorpion stung. Third time again scorpion stung. Then another person was sitting and he said, Mahatma, what are you doing? Oh, holy man, can't you think that is a creature that will bite you always? And you are trying against that thing and you are being hurt yourself? Then he said, you know this creature, small, insignificant, and it is not giving up its dharma. Its dharma is biting. And I, being a human being, how can I be defeated from in the possession and practice of dharma? My dharma is to save someone in difficulty, and his dharma is to bite. He doesn't know anything. That is what it is given to him. It is not giving up its dharma, and you ask me to give up my dharma, I will not give up. I will save this scorpion. And finally he was successful, getting 3 or 4 stings of the scorpion, very painful. Whatever the dharma of even inanimate objects have dharma. The dharma of water is to make the thing wet. Dharma of fire is to burn, give heat. So like that, dharma is the innate quality of a being, whether human being, creatures, inanimate being. Dharma of air is to dry. Like that is the dharma. So what is the manava dharma? What is the dharma of us human being? To behave like a human being. So self-control, kindness, love, help, all this becomes our dharma. And how can we grow spiritually? To strive for that becomes our dharma. Performing our duty in the spirit of detachment is our dharma. Hinduism, among the 4 purusharthas, another is called artha. Artha is in fact wealth. That achieving artha, that earning wealth is also an aim of human life in Hinduism. Some people say, oh, Hinduism is too unworldly, they say give up everything, renounce everything. That is not real Hinduism. In Hinduism, everything has a place of its own. So, artha is wealth. What type of artha? So, to earn the thing to sustain ourselves and to help others. साईं इतना दीजिए कि मैं भी भूखा न रहूं, साधु भी भूखा न जाए. In Hindi it is said by Kabir Das, he said to God, prays to God, oh Lord, give me so much of wealth that I maintain myself and my family and I am not left hungry. And also someone who is asking, begging, needs something, he also doesn't go empty-handed if someone comes to me to ask for something. So I should be able to help whatever I can, and I should not be hunger-stricken. Who give that much? So that is the prayer from Kabir Das to God. There are 4 categories of people according to acquiring wealth. You see, some are there who are the lowest type of people will be trying to acquire wealth more and more, and they don't care what happens to others. They are just, one focus is, I have to become rich. I have to become millionaire, billionaire, whatever is near at it, that has to become by any means. And that, why do that? That they think will make them happy. The goal is happiness. Every human being, every creature, everyone, the life created wants to be happy and peaceful. But where is that happiness to be found? That this becomes difficulty. And that person thinks, if I have lot of money, I become the richest person in the world, I will be the happiest person in the world. Even seeing after that, no viveka is there. You see, no able to understand the thing, and that creates problem. And that person will try to accumulate wealth by any means. Even if he has to endure or she has to endure some other person, that he will not or she will not hesitate in that. That is the lowest type of human beings. Better than that are the who acquire wealth to maintain family, and that's it. I can give little in charity, but they will like to acquire wealth to enjoy the world. There is the third type who acquired enough and now they are contented. They know now I have enough, I don't need. Such type of people often take voluntary retirement. You know, this retirement, this work are 2 types. One is to keep ourselves busy, to be helpful, to give something. Another is we are never satisfied with the money that comes. Oh, if I retire today, what about my paycheck that comes like $15,000 per month? It will be all stopped, and what will happen? I have a lot of money, but I don't care for that. I want every month. If that doesn't come, I don't feel satisfied. But some are there, oh, I have enough. It will make my whatever I have to live, they think of death, last time. And they think, I have to enjoy life, lot of work done. Now I will enjoy life, visit places, and if that person is spiritual, when I will spend more time in spiritual practice, in prayer, in meditation, and enough is there now for that. So that type of person take voluntary retirement. Why do they take? They are contented with the wealth they have. They have no greed or wish to earn more money. So this type of person are the third category, and they live in peace. No more hankering for money, because whatever they have, they are able to manage their life, that it remains. So they are little better. Some people are there, they are not only contented with themselves, but they want to help others. Whatever they balance, they calculate. This much I need for myself, this much I will give in charity. Still better. They don't only think to be happy and peaceful themselves, they think for how can they help others. It's still the better category of person. And finally with that will come total detachment from the wealth. I don't need anything. So with that comes total detachment of wealth, and then comes true peace with dawn. So I don't need any money. Even then what will happen to serve people, to help others? That also is done. That also is that a time comes in life when doing good and helping others is also, now it is done. I have now to think of after this life. This is done. The life that was given, this human life, it is worked. Now, after life, what I am going to attain after death, that is imminent, coming. Grihita iva kesheshu mrityunat dharmamachale. Now I have to practice spirituality. Little I have, that is enough. So more contented, peaceful, and very happy. So such persons are also there. This is the fifth category of person. And this wealth often creates a lot of problems. Shankaracharya says in the Bhagavad Gita, this wealth is so much, even people know, even those who are rich, they are afraid of even of their sons. What will they do? What will happen to me? Always fear of this. Putradapi dhana bhajam bhiti. That's like thing are there. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, there is one beautiful story that Sri Ramakrishna says, that there was one kite, the bird, who got a fish. As soon as he got a fish in his beak, he was flying, and suddenly he found a flock of crows were chasing him. Wherever he goes north, the whole crows go again behind him, and we go to south, all crows follow him. So he thought, what happened today? Why they are after me? I have done nothing harm to them. Then finally he realized, because of the fish, they want to take fish from my beak. That is the problem. He just dropped that fish and all crows vanished. Then he flew in peace. Sometimes possessing wealth is also that dangerous. You will say, how person will eat if doesn't have anything? That will be done. But wealth creates problem. If you have more wealth, there is definitely problem. Artha, manartham, bhavaya, nityam. It is anartha, it is not artha. It is anartha, it is the root of all problems if it is not handled well. Money is really a problem. You must have heard many stories of those who get lottery. Suddenly they become millionaires, suddenly. And very few are there who plan how to spend that money, even in church, giving to the universities, making some donations in good places, and well distributed the money they suddenly got. Suddenly they become. But in most of the cases it has been heard that the money they got, they have become poorer than what they were before winning the lottery. They spend so much money without any planning that they become poorer. So this is called artham, anartham. Anartha is, a destroying factor. It is not joy-giving factor, it becomes destroying factor. So this real wealth is, as I said, detachment from the wealth and attachment to God. That will finally come, real wealth come when we have attachment to God. Jesus told to his disciples, sell all that you have and distribute that to the poor and follow me. He said to his disciples, what you possess, give all that to the poor and follow me. So he had meant to the disciples who will become his followers, will become monks and will give everything. But we can explain it another way. Whatever you have possession, don't feel yourself the owner of that. And rather you follow me, means follow my teachings. Try to live in a spiritual way. That is following God. Jesus is avatar of God. We can follow God with that we love and we worship our Ishta and try to do that. Then it becomes whatever you have, sell. You don't have to sell. We need to survive till we are here. But give up the ownership of money. Oh, this I earn, I possess. Who are we to earn? It has been given to us by God. Little work you need by the power given by God, through the body given by God. And we say, I have earned this, I have acquired this is my money, nothing is mine. Little Viveka can make us that. Viveka is such a great wealth. Sri Ramakrishna says a very nice story. He said, wealth is sometimes seems too big, like money, possession, house, cars. But when it is concentrated, it becomes smaller. And he gives the example, you have a bag full of coins. And if you make all those regular coins into silver coins, perhaps it will be 16 silver coins from the bag full of coins. Thing has become small. And then that silver coin, if you convert it into gold coin, one gold coin will have the value of 16 silver coins. And if we change that into diamond, small tiny piece of diamond will have the value of that much amount of bag full of coins. So thing has become smaller, but its value has not changed, but rather its value has been transformed. So like that, whatever we have the wealth, now if we could transform that wealth into the wealth of viveka, wealth of right understanding, then it will not be seen, but you will be richer in that. You will have more valuable things. You may not have other things, or you may have other things, but you don't possess that, and you are enriched with the wealth of viveka, discernment, intelligent power to decide what is right, what is wrong, what to be done, what not to be done, how to be behaved and how not to be behaved. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said the same thing, like Jesus said, sell all that you have, follow me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was more psychologically. He came to the people because Jesus was saying that to his ardent disciples. You see, he saw in them they had the fire of renunciation. They had to do great work to establish the teaching that had emanated, came through the Jesus and establish that in the world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was more to the common people, and he wanted to give them the joy of life, without any seeing whether they are great renunciation power or not. Every common man was able to develop that was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very large heart. And he went there and he said, repeat the name of God. Say, Krishna is so much joyful just repeating the name of God. And people are not coming, what is they are saying, Rama, Rama, Krishna, Krishna, how there will be joy? So he said, then he went to say something technique. He said, no, if you repeat, the people asked, what will happen if I repeat the name of God? He said, oh, you will get catfish soup. In Bengal, fish is very delicious thing, it's a delicacy. So he said, if you repeat the name of God, you will taste the catfish soup. Magur macher jhol, bol hari bol, magur macher jhol. Magur macher jhol means catfish soup. So you will get that. So people thought, oh, by saying the name of God, we will get the taste of eating catfish. So people started coming. It just showed that worldly enjoyment. And people came and started singing the name of God, dancing in the name of God, and they were so much evolved in that, they were so much concentrated in that, enjoying singing the name of God. God's name has its own power and sweetness. Only if it is cultivated and nurtured, it just blooms and it fruits, it fruits, and people have enjoyed. So pure and so powerful thing of giving us peace and joy. And after when they were doing for some time, they started crying in the name of God. And the tears flowing, and some tears went into the mouth. It was a little salty. They understood, oh, then this is the Bible. This, he meant the Magur Macher Jhol is not real Magur Macher Jhol. It is the tears that flow in the name of God. That's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to bring all multitude, you see. He didn't go away from the multitude. As he gave the Sermon on Mount to the selected people. He was with the multitude and wanted to give to the multitude, distribute the power of the name of God. Once the attachment to God's name develops, the detachment to worldly wealth is automatic. So one beautiful song in Bengali is there. We just had Durga Puja, and the song by Ramprasad says, he's a Kali Bhakta, but he says, "Ye deho beche bhaver hate Durga naam kine enesi." I have sold this body in the marketplace of the world, and then by selling that, I have bought a wonderful thing. And what did I buy by selling the body? I have bought Mother Durga's name. So, if I am the body, bought Mother Durga's name. Very poetically say, my attachment to the body I have given up. Now I am attached to the name of Mother Durga. I enjoy now repeating the name of Mother Durga. I enjoy the name, singing the name of Divine Mother. So that is my joy. Care of this body, worries for body, I have given up. Renounced my all consideration and attachment to this body. That he has said in that way. I have sold this body and bought the name of Mother Durga. That Payoji Mene Rama Ratana Dhana Payo, that's so beautiful. I have got a big wealth. It is the wealth of the name of Rama that has given me so much joy. I don't need any other wealth because this is the real wealth I have got. Swami Vivekananda said about Sri Ramakrishna, Sampada Tava Sri Pada Bhava Ghosh Pada Bari Jathai. If I have the wealth of your devotion to your lotus feet, what do I care of the world? The world, so big, huge, attractive, it will seem like a water collected in the mud puddle of a hoof, cow's hoof. So it will be like that, insignificant. It will lose charm of its attraction and so many things to give, because I have got the real wealth. And real wealth is devotion to your lotus feet, devotion to your ideal, devotion to yourself, attachment to God. When I got that, everything is insignificant. Sri Ramakrishna himself said, wealth, before Sri Ramakrishna was born, there were people saying, oh, the basis of human life is based on the wealth, capital, how to distribute, that is the main thing that human being wants. Sri Ramakrishna said, no, wealth is nothing, this money is nothing, money is like, there is no difference between money and the clay. He somehow had that inspiration, that experience, and that intelligence. And then to prove this, he used to take clay in one hand and coin in another, and said, clay is money, money is clay. They don't have extraordinary value. Whatever value they have, they are almost equal, and throw both of them into the Ganga. Taka mati, mati taka. There is no value. Whatever value, that doesn't mean that. Then he used to say, lest Mother Lakshmi be unhappy, angry, then I used to say, Mother, don't be displeased with me, please remain inside me. Remain inside. Just he used to say that. But it is not to dishonor Lakshmi or the power of wealth, but to say that not to be overvaluing the power of wealth. We often overvalue which it doesn't have. One Swamiji told very nicely, wealth is actually, this money is valueless. It has no value. Either it is as a number in the bank, I have this many 100,000, this many that, only number there, or you have some papers we call so much dollars, so much rupees you have, that is also valueless, it is nothing. But the real value of wealth is when you spend. Only then it is money. Otherwise it is either plastic card or it is paper money. It is no valueless. But when money is spent, then it becomes value. So how to spend money, then it becomes really value. So if we can spend our money for the good of others, it becomes really worth valuable thing. Sri Ramakrishna was practiced renunciation so much. So once one person came and saw his bed sheet and it was needed repair or needed to be replaced, and he said, and he liked Sri Ramakrishna and his talk, and he was just attracted, and said, you don't have sufficient money, you are a sadhu, so I want you to give this much money and please maintain yourself. How much he gave? 10,000 rupees. That time 10,000 rupees means a huge money. Sri Ramakrishna, he was a priest and his salary was 7 rupees when he used to work, 7 rupees per month. And when he became monk, he stopped worshipping. Then also they used to give honorarium of 7 rupees per month to Sri Ramakrishna's name that was there, by which his expenses were made. He never touched money, but it was made by other persons. So Sri Ramakrishna, when he heard this, he said to him, why are you doing that? I don't need any money. So he was pestering, please take, you need for sustenance. That rich man, Sri Ramakrishna later on said, no, I can't accept money. And later on he told to his disciples, when he was offering money and pestering to accept money, I felt like my skull is being sawed into two. My saw it being cut into two. It was so painful. So that was the renunciation of Sri Ramakrishna, because he knew the worth of value of money. Often we say that money is needed at least to serve others. But how much to serve others and how long to serve others? As I said, that ultimately even that idea also goes. Once Shambhu Malik said to Sri Ramakrishna, he was like his friend, admirer of Sri Ramakrishna, rich man in Calcutta, he said to Sri Ramakrishna, you know, Ramakrishna, please bless me that whatever wealth I have, I want to make hospitals, I want to make schools, I want to all spend that in service of these people. He said with pride, because he was a rich man, and he thought Sri Ramakrishna would be, oh, you are such a great man, I have never saw such a person who wants to distribute all money and use it for the good of the world. Sri Ramakrishna said, why do you boast of your money and you are thinking of good words? If God comes to you, will you say to God, Lord, make me a hospital, make schools for me, will you pray for that? When God comes, you forget the world, you forget yourself. It is such a joyful experience, you don't remember anything. When you are in the worldly life, then only making hospitals and doing service in the school and making something is important. But when God comes to you, that has no value. Even that becomes valueless, it has no value. Because God is the highest. And then he said, try to have the God realization. And if God wants you to make hospitals and schools, then you make hospitals and schools without any arrogance, without egotism. Otherwise you will make a hospital, put your name, and you will always say to people, you see this hospital I made, and you will be always saying, and if you are not treated well, oh, I made this hospital, I am not treating well. You want you to be treated well, you want your son to be treated well, you want your granddaughter to be treated well, and special treatment you will always want, because you have a sense of possession. By giving that, you will not give that. And what is that charity? If you have possessed something even after giving, we often say to someone, please accept this, I want you to use this, I want you to eat this. This is also little, after you give, then also you possess the thing. When we give something, then it is given, it is his or hers, it is not mine. After that, how she or he is using, it is up to him or her. It is not I to dictate, because I have given it fully to that person. If that person takes from me and throws it in the garbage, I should not be affected. Can we do often that? We often hold on, cling on, even after giving. So that is the power of this attachment, is often it is there. As I said, Shankaracharya often said, Artham anartham bhavaya nityam nasti tata sukhalesa satyam. I truly say to you that there is no real happiness in possession of the earth. It is possession of the wealth. It is, I tell you, it is anartha. It often creates problems. Putradapi dhana bhajam bhiti sarvatraisha vihitariti. Even the rich person are afraid of what to say about his partners, his friends, but they are afraid of in their own sense. And this is not peculiar to one person. Sarvatraisha vihitariti. This riti is sarvatra. Everywhere this is seen. So, real wealth, what to do? It says, Kamam, Krodham, Lobham, Moham, Tyaktvatmanam, Pashyati Soham. Try to understand who you are. That is the real wealth. And how to do that? Give up Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, desire, greed, and anger, delusion, misunderstanding, giving value to the valueless thing, giving no value to the most valuable thing. One person went to Swamiji and he bowed down. Swamiji bowed down in return. He said, Swamiji, why do you bow down? Then why do you bow down to me? Swamiji asked to that person. He said, you are such a, you have renounced the world, you are a great sadhu, you have a great renunciation. That's why I bow down to you. The devotee said. Swamiji said, I bowed down to you because of that reason. What are you saying? Yes, I have renounced this world which is really has no joy, nityam sukham lokam. I have given up and have become monk and has got God in search of God. That much is my renunciation. But your renunciation is much greater. You have renounced God Himself for the sake of this valueless world. Whose renunciation is greater? You have renounced the greater thing, God Himself. I have renounced this world. So you are also great renouncer. So that's why I bow down to you. So that's what He said. Give up these things and pashyati atmanam and be established in Soham, I am that self. Then Atma Jnana, what will happen? Atma Jnana Vihina Mudha Te Pachante Naraka Nigura. If you don't realize who you are, Shankaracharya just says and says and says, wants to establish, you will be rotten into the hell if you don't realize who you are. Atma Jnana doesn't happen. If you always consider yourself this physical body, this dying body, this created body, which you are not, this insignificant, dirty, this body, how can Viveka Chudamani itself every time it says? And what will happen if I realize I am that self, if I get the wealth of self-realization? Yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, sangha ratova, sangha vihina. Doesn't matter how I live, whether I practice yoga, without yoga, I am enjoying the thing, I don't enjoy the worldly things. I have a lot of people and I don't have anyone. Sangha vihina, sangha ratava, sangha vihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam, whose mind is enjoying in the bliss of Brahman, nandati, nandati, nandati eva. He will be in the bliss, rejoicing. That person who has the knowledge of the self, he will be rejoicing, rejoicing, rejoicing. 3 times he says to emphasize how much bliss is there in the realization of the self or the Brahma Jnana. So real wealth is, naturally it is your love for God, your spiritual progress, your spiritual wealth is the real wealth. Swami Vivekananda says, real wealth is the wealth of character. Let me read from the complete verse of Swami Vivekananda later. This is the one central idea in the Gita. Work incessantly, but be not attached to it. Samskara can be transplanted very nearly by inherent tendency, eating the simile of a lake for the mind. Every ripple, every wave that rises in the mind, when it subsides, does not die out entirely, but leaves a mark and a future possibility of that wave coming out again. This mark, with the possibility of the wave reappearing, is what is called samskara. Every work that we do, every movement of the body, every thought that we think, leaves such an impression on the mind stuff. And even when such impressions are not obvious on the surface, they are sufficiently strong to work beneath the surface, subconsciously. What we are every moment is determined by the sum total of these impressions on the mind. What I am just at this moment is the effect of the sum total of all the impressions of my past life. This is really what is meant by character. Each man's character is determined by the sum total of these impressions. If good impressions prevail, the character becomes good. If bad, it becomes bad. If a man continuously hears bad words, thinks bad thoughts, does bad actions, his mind will be full of bad impressions, and they will influence his thought and word without his being conscious of the fact. In fact, these bad impressions are always working, and their resultant must be evil, and that man will be a bad man. He cannot help it. The sum total of these impressions in him will create a strong motive power for doing bad actions. He will be like a machine in the hands of his impressions, and they will force him to do evil. Similarly, if a man thinks good thoughts and does good works, the sum total of these impressions will be good, and they, in a similar manner, will force him to do good even in spite of himself. When a man has done so much good work and thought so many good thoughts that there is an irresistible tendency in him to do good in spite of himself, and even if he wishes to do evil, his mind, as the sum total of his tendencies, will not allow him to do so. The tendencies will turn him back. He is completely under the influence of the good tendencies. When such is the case, a man's good character is said to be established. So this is doing good thinking, good and establishing good character is the real wealth that we want to acquire in our life. Swami Vivekananda says, money does not pay, nor name, fame does not pay, nor learning. It is love that pays. It is character that cleaves its way through the adamantine walls of difficulties. And what type of character? What we had said in one verse very nicely. Character should be so well established that nindantu niti nipuna yadivastuvantu. If you are praised or blamed, you are firm in your character. You don't mind. Whether you become rich or poor, Lakshmi samavishatu gacchatu vaitestam, you don't mind. Adaiva maranamastu satantareva. Whether you die today or you die after 100 years, you don't mind. Your character is adamantine character. It will solve all the problems of life. Such character becomes the wealth, real wealth of ourselves. So, real wealth is detachment or renunciation and from the world and attachment to God. In Hindi there is a nice saying, Sab kuch chhode, sab kuch paave. When you give up everything, you get everything. You give up attachment to the world, you get God. And God is everything. What we think world is little manifestation of the God. You give up this small, it's like the jaggery syrup. You give up and you get the syrup of sugar candy. So lower things you give up, get the higher things, you give up attachment to the world, you get attached to God Himself, that is the bliss. In one of the famous common prayer that we do in the Hindu temples, one of the line is, Sukha sampatti ghara aave kasta mite tanaka. Jo dhyave phala pave dukha vinase manaka. Those who meditate on God, their suffering and from the mind is gone, is removed. Then, Sukha sampatti ghara aave. It says, in your house will come the wealth of happiness. And kasta mite tanaka. Your physical problems, pains will be removed. How does it say that? That what is that sampatti we have to understand. If we worship God, maybe we will not become rich. Maybe money will not come. They say when you give money to the poor, if you give 1 cent, you will get 10 times back. Maybe you won't get lottery just after you help a poor person beggar. But 10 times you really get in the form of joy, of helping someone. It's really, if you had spent that much money for yourself, to buy something or to eat something, you won't get that joy. But if you have fed a poor person, you get 10 times joy of eating yourself. That's why when we help someone, we get back in 10 times. And to attain that realization of God or Atma Jnana or Brahma Jnana, it's always never with the wealth. In Vedas also it is said, Na karmana na prajaya dhanena. Tyagi naiki amritatva manasu. If you want immortality, if you want immortal bliss, if you want to become happy ever, forever and all times, then you have to do it through detachment. Detachment, not having the possession with the things. Those who detach from the things, they can become like Janaka. Janaka had the kingdom to his possession in his name, but he was never attached to that kingdom. He never said, this is my kingdom. He was unattached. Though he was among the kingdom, he was performing the role of the king, great king, but he was not attached. Similarly, we may have wealth, we may have property, we may have car and building, we don't have to sell tomorrow and go to the forest, that won't help. But we are not attached to the thing. This is not mine. Somehow it was given by God, it belongs to God. The moment we get detached from the idea of possession, peace comes in us, worry goes away. And that is the way alone. It says, Tyagi naike amritatva manasu. Says Vedas, by detachment only is the way for the amritatva or immortality. Scriptures declare that there is no hope of immortality by means of wealth. So it is evident that liberation cannot be brought about by actions. So how to do that? How to have attained that real wealth? Shankaracharya again in Bhaja Govinda says, start from small things. And he says that if Deyam Gita Nama Sahasram Deyam Sripati Rupa Manasram Deyam Dina Janayati Chittam Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam Deyam Dina Janayati Vittam Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam. Do small spiritual practice. Take the name of God. Be charitable wherever you can, whatever you can. Think of, meditate on God. And do prayers, do a little meditation, and then you will find growing towards God, you find attaching, be associated with God. Going out of home, say, Lord, I am going out. Come home, Mother, I have come back home. Like that, you associate yourself. And in the work also, Swami Brahmananda used to say, after you have worked some time, you just keep the pen and just remember God. By your power I am working. Association makes attachment. When we attach to God, real detachment comes, real peace comes. You get the wealth, like huge wealth converted into small fragment of small piece, a tiny piece of diamond we get, and we get real wealth developed in our heart. And on this happy occasion, when the Mother is worshipped, being worshipped this whole month in Bengal is all Mother's worship. So I pray to all of us that may the Divine Mother grant us the real wealth to us, may we be able to discriminate, may we be able to wear the crown, that Viveka Chudamani on our head and heart. We always, the Viveka, which should be the glory of Viveka, will be always in us. Discernment, power to decide, think rightly should be there, and may we be able to love everyone. Thank you very much.